Stanley Kubrick's 1971 controversial masterpiece, A Clockwork Orange, finally has a 4K release, and in this video I'm going to review it for you. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam. I hope you're doing really well, and on this channel I like to talk about all things film, Blu-ray and physical media collecting. So we've had a few Stanley Kubrick 4K releases now. Just looking up on my shelf, we have 2001: A Space Odyssey, Full Metal Jacket, The Shining, and I believe there is a Doctor Strangelove 4K, and Spartacus as well, I think. So, but A Clockwork Orange is one of the ones that I've been most anticipating getting the 4K treatment, and I can safely say that Warner Brothers here have done a fantastic job. So I managed to get this super awesome collector's edition, which comes with a nice hard case, and inside we also have a booklet, and inside this parcel thing we have some art cards and a poster and like a fake newspaper clipping, and then it also comes with this quite well designed steelbook as well. So if you haven't already seen A Clockwork Orange, it does have a reputation. It was banned in the UK for about 27 years. So the film came out in 1971, and it was hugely controversial because of its depictions of violence, and a lot of people didn't know how to interpret the portrayal of violence in the film. A lot of people thought it was glorifying violence, and that is definitely not the case. And a lot of people who watch this today, and you know, sort of film critics and historians, like, all agree that this is more of a commentary on violence in youth culture and things like that, and in a sort of semi-dystopian society as well. And it was Kubrick himself who asked Warner Brothers to retract the film from theaters. Yeah, and that was in 1973. And yeah, it wasn't until about 2000 that this was available in the UK, like on home media, and put back into theaters again. So the film follows Malcolm McDowell playing the character of Alex DeLarge, who is sort of the leader of a group he's the leader of a gang, and his gang members are called droogs. There's a lot of slang terms in this film that come from the book that this is based on by Anthony Burgess, which came out in 1962. So there was a 9-year gap between the book and the film adaptation. And yeah, there's a lot of really strange dialogue that you can't always quite decipher what it means, because it's like regional, but it's also regional to the fictional world that this film is based in. So Alex and his droogs, they like to, you know, cause havoc at night time and basically terrorize people with, as Alex likes to call it, ultra violence. Following the murder of a victim of this gang, Alex is captured and he goes to prison, and in sort of response to his sentence, he volunteers himself to undergo an experimental government sort of procedure to sort of get brainwashed into being a good person. And yeah, I think there's a lot of social commentary here from Kubrick, and it's a very layered film. Yeah, it's absolutely superb, and it's one of the examples in which violence depicted on film is very necessary, in my opinion, to get across its message. I don't know if, you know, sort of showing, like, having the violence take place off screen would be as impactful or pack the same punch as when we get later scenes of Alex being sort of brainwashed into sort of being a good person and being repelled by even the idea of a violent act. The score by Wendy Carlos is just so full of dread, and it's very synthy, and I absolutely love it. It's one of the highlights of the film for me. And then there's also, as Kubrick used to do quite a lot in his films, there's a lot of classical music, particularly Beethoven, which is important to the story in terms of one of the characters in the film. And yeah, I can understand why Kubrick may have sort of retracted the film. I don't think he thought the film was bad, but it allegedly inspired sort of copycat crimes, and that's the last thing any director wants to do, is to inspire, you know, people to reenact the crimes that they make in their films, basically. The 4K transfer is absolutely fantastic. I think the best ever 4K disc I've seen is the 2001 restoration that was overseen by Christopher Nolan. And this is hot on its heels. I think it's fantastic. If you go up a little closer to your screen, you can see bits of the film grain is still intact, which is just what you want to see, because the film has that artifact there. So it's nice to see that that's all there, and it just looks so crisp. And to be honest, it looks like it could have been filmed this year, apart from maybe some of the designs and the clothing and stuff. Even though it's supposed to be futuristic, you can still sort of see that it's like 70s inspired costumes. The colors in this film pop. The level of detail, especially in close-ups. I mean, you have that Kubrick stare that is in most of Kubrick's films, of characters sort of almost like staring into the camera at the audience, and just the level of detail on Malcolm McDowell's face and other characters throughout the film is just wonderful to look at, and it's just amazing to see the sort of the attention to detail that is in the film, but also how a restoration in 2021 is able to sort of make this film look as good as it does, even though the film already looked fantastic. So is this film worth an upgrade if you already have the Blu-ray? I would say if you're a huge fan of Kubrick, this is a must buy. I mean, and particularly a fan of The Clockwork Orange. I mean, if you're a huge fan of him and this film, and you have 4K equipment, a TV and a 4K player, then you've probably already picked this up. But if you're on the fence and you're not too sure, I would say that this is one to really think about picking up, because the quality, it's just the quality. I mean, it's just looks so great, and the sound is also really fantastic. I can't remember exactly what it is. It's a DTS HD Master 5.1. I don't know how it could sound any better. That's that score by Wendy Carlos, and just all the classical music, and it's just amazing. And I absolutely love this film. I understand why it's quite controversial, but it's necessary watching, in my opinion, if you're a film fan. And yeah, I'm so glad I picked this up. So yeah, hopefully through this video I've been able to sort of on my other camera showcase the actual insides of this package. It comes with a steelbook, and as I said, like a newspaper clipping and some art cards, which are really high quality. And yeah, I'm absolutely in love with this release. Very much glad it's in my collection, and yeah, I'm really hoping for an Eyes Wide Shut 4K. That is probably my second favorite Kubrick after 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I think that would look fantastic. Kubrick's last film, very controversial in terms of its like critical and audience appraisal of that film. It's a very divided film, but I'm in the camp of it being one of Kubrick's best. In fact, some days that's my favorite Kubrick film. So anyway, A Clockwork Orange, I would highly recommend this. And yeah, there is a non-special edition available, which doesn't have all the bells and whistles, which sometimes aren't necessary, but I love this film so much. I like to have those little extra bits sometimes. But yeah, you can get a cheaper version of the 4K disc, and I'd highly recommend picking it up if you're interested or a fan of the film and you have 4K capabilities. It's a must, in my opinion. So that was my review of Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know if you've seen A Clockwork Orange, or if you have the 4K disc and what you thought of the transfer and all the special features, as there is a wealth of special features on here as well. But I haven't had time to watch all those yet, so that's why I haven't reviewed them on here. I just wanted to give my opinion on the actual transfer on the disc, sorry. And yeah, so until next time, everybody, take care.